Hi, this is Anthony Parent, Parent and Win LLP, the IRSMedic, and this is the IRS Fresh Start Program, Part 5, have a hard time with that, where we're going to talk about offer and compromise success. For those just joining us, before we have talked about overviews, myths, and we were just talking about installment agreements in Part 4. So let's talk about the IRS Fresh Start offer and compromise. When this started, I think Michelle Palmieri is probably the most knowledgeable person in this room on this subject. So I know she has a lot to say. Boy, Michelle, those first offers we got through when the Fresh Start was announced. Remember those? Yes,
they were pretty not easy, but seemed like they were getting accepted left and right pretty quickly.
Things were moving quickly, and I remember you were doing a lot of your happy dances around the office. Mm-hmm. And some of the offer terms were pretty good for our clients. So you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And you're still getting great deals for our clients for the offer and compromise.
Yes.
But then something happened. No? Yes. The rules, they sort of deflated some of the original power that we had. Some of the original Fresh Start rules were really favorable. What they would look at is what was collectible in 24 months or 12 months. And they were really allowing some conditional expenses. And I just remember seeing that happen. But then the IRS had this thing, any offer and compromise, regardless of the Fresh Start program, regardless of everything, there's something that the IRS won't do. And what is that? Will they accept an offer and compromise that's not in their best interest?
No, they have a little more discretion to just say, even though your offer is legitimate, we clearly can't collect it right now, but we may in the future be able to collect that money from you. So they'll kind of use that one reason just to deny the offer.
Now we've seen some offers. I know there's some offers that you submitted, and you've talked to offer examiners, and this might not be so much related to Fresh Start, but are offer examiners aware of the offer and compromise guidelines, Fresh Start or not? Have you ever seen an offer examiner saying, "Yeah, we just want you to give more. It really needs to be."
Yes.
60% of the debt. Have you ever heard someone say that?
Yes, they do feel that even though the financials say that the person can only pay a certain amount, they believe that it's somehow unfair to everybody else that this one person is allowed to, pay that much, and so they think that the person should offer a percentage of their total liability, which is not really the rules.
You can't find that anywhere in the IRM, correct? Or Fresh Start guidelines. There's no percentage, and I think that's one of the common things is people always look for what percentage of my debt will the IRS take? Well, that is sort of putting the cart before the horse.
Well, they're making you fill out this whole form to come to X amount, and then they say that's not what they want. So why do the form at all if that's how they want to do it?
Right. So that's something we see is that the IRS offer examiners don't necessarily, that you might end up with someone, especially with the self-employed is really where we find this. And some certain offer examiner places around the country, which we won't mention, but they sort of have interesting rules that we do tend to prevail when we appeal that. One of the things though, and I think this is really one of the things, there are favorable guidelines with the IRS Fresh Start offer and compromise, but all that seems to me is that it raises the stakes. The game is exactly the same when we're submitting something, is we're trying to legally minimize what's something that's called your realistic collection potential. Is it real collection or reasonable? Reasonable, same thing. Real, reasonable, right? Reasonable collection potential. We want to minimize that to show that you have the least amount of money to the IRS, and that would be probably, if we wanted to talk about that, that would probably be an 8-hour webinar. So we won't go into that. That's really what we're trying to do. But essentially, your expenses and asset valuations, it becomes even more critical because everything that you're doing, every allowable expense, every dollar that you are getting allowed is really, you're magnifying it by a factor of what, 60? Essentially. So wherever you're saving, it's critical to get it right. Now, what happens, Michelle, if you file a nonsense offer and compromise, or just slap one together? Do you think that's a good idea?
No, because it extends the time the IRS has to collect from you. If you don't qualify, it's just a mess. You're back to square one, and it makes you look bad in front of the IRS as well. The next time, if you really are eligible to submit an offer, they're going to see that you've already had one that was a frivolous offer.
And the IRS, in a way, doesn't really mind you submitting frivolous offer because you're getting some money, and your CSET is being extended to a point where you probably will have more money. So it seems to me it's always something that they say they really hate when people submit nonsense offer and compromises, but it also seems to me it would be a pretty easy thing to fix if they really wanted people to stop it. So what I think is our philosophy is you want to do it once and do it right, and you probably will have to appeal, but I know you've been having a lot of success without getting appeals lately.
There are some. The slam dunk ones usually get through, but there are actually a lot that have been going to appeals lately.
Okay, they've been getting a little tougher?
With that one place in the United States.
That one place in where you would find a lot of peaches, right? And a lot of peaches and peanuts. It's a wonderful place. Well, that's great. So the IRS Fresh Start Program, offer and compromise, we do see some favorable guidelines. Just to give a recap, we see some favorable guidelines, but really all it means is that the stakes are higher, and so it's really critical you get it done once and you get it done right. This is Anthony Parent of Parent, and Win, and thank you for joining us in this part of the IRS Fresh Start Program, Offer and Compromise Success. And we look forward to seeing you in Part 6 for our program, which I believe is penalty abatement. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the other side.